You're listening to A Strange Arrangement.
Hello again, and Happy New Year. I wanted to start this episode a little bit differently. Just to refresh, we're working with Auld Lang Syne. Should old acquaintance be forgotten? You know that song. Without the words, it sounds like this. Okay, you got that in your head. I'm going to play the first few bars of the arrangement this week. And I want to see if you can hear that melody in the arrangement. You ready? Here we go. Did you catch it? It's okay if you didn't, because truth be told, I didn't hear it the first time either. Took me a couple listens, actually. Let's try this. I'm going to mess with the levels a little bit. Turn the bass up real high. Turn the high end down pretty low. All right, I'm going to play it again. Here we go. Let's have a listen. Did you hear it that time? So the tune is actually in the bass notes. Here, let me sing it. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? And then it's too high for my voice. This is cool, because the artists today have taken the part usually written for a higher voice and brought it down to the lowest voice, and then built something totally different on top of it. It's very unique, and you can certainly call it strange. Because if you didn't pick out that bass line, you probably wouldn't have thought this sounded like Auld Lang Syne at all. I know I didn't. Now there's a lot going on in this arrangement, and I'm real excited to introduce our artist today. But we didn't play the theme song yet, so let's go. So if you've listened to some classical music, you may have also heard that this arrangement kind of sounds similar to a 4-part chorale, where the melody is harmonized with multiple voices to create a fuller sound. This is a chorale by Bach, by the way, that we're listening to. There's some specific rules to writing chorales that we won't dive too deep into because a lot of them apply just to this specific kind of music writing. But ultimately, the different voices create a series of chords that work well together, supporting the melody and moving in a way that doesn't interrupt the other voices. Usually, you start with a melody on the top line, or the soprano line, and you harmonize the lower parts, bass, tenor, alto, around that. But here, in this arrangement of Auld Lang Syne that we are starting from the bottom. It's similar to another idea called the cantus firmus. In some classical counterpoint styles, there's this lower, steady line that goes on while the other voices are embellished around it. These combined voices create lush, interwoven lines that dance around each other. The effect, when written well, is quite beautiful. Now our guests today, Laurent and Rachel, are some of the best percussionists that I know. And together they play in Joint Venture Percussion Duo. Now they can play all the drums, but most often than not, you'll see Rachel on the marimba, which, if you don't know, is like a giant xylophone. And Laurent will be on the vibraphone, which, if you don't know, is like a big metal xylophone, sorta, kinda. Together they can play these full, lush chords and weave these counter melodies back and forth between each other. And on these two different instruments, it sounds beautiful. You'll hear a little bit of that with their full arrangement. But first, I wanted to hear from Rachel about who Joint Venture is and their thought process going into making this arrangement. So, here we go.
Hi everyone, this is Joint Venture Percussion Duo. I'm Rachel Zhang and my partner Laurent Warnier is currently abroad. I'll speak on behalf of our duo today. Just to tell you a little bit about us, We are based between Amsterdam and Luxembourg. Laurent is a percussion professor at the Luxembourg Conservatory and teaches vibraphone at the Amsterdam Conservatory, where I teach marimba. We're very excited to share with you our arrangement of Auld Lang Syne. Back when we both were studying at the Boston Conservatory, we took our dear Professor Nancy Salzman's marimba transcription class. Among all the knowledge she has showered us with, and specifically for this case, if we are adding any value to it, it's something we have asked ourselves when we were about to start this arrangement. Auld Lang Syne is such a popular song that is based on an older Scottish folk song, and plenty people had done great adaptations or arrangements about it. What could we still possibly add to the existed versions? Since this is a set piece and we have received a bass version from Robert for us to use.
Listen back to that. Hear what she said?
And we have received a bass version from Robert for us to use.
A bass arrangement. A bass arrangement. All right, so just to be transparent with you, when I reach out to artists for this show, I send them some sheet music. It's basic chords under a melody, and I've been calling it the bass arrangement, as in B-A-S-E, as in basic, as in the foundation upon which to build music. But maybe they read it as B-A-S-S, as in this is the bass line, and then you build on top of that. I need to write my emails differently. All right, anyway, back to Rachel.
So we've got already 2 limitations. We love limitations. No limitations, no freedom. So we decided to give ourselves a few more rules. For example, we will use literally all the notes that are on the bass version that we've received, and in the exact same order. Now, that's still very broad. So the next rule is we want to eventually program it in one of our programs. So it will have to fit in one of our program concepts, and it will most probably be for vibraphone and marimba. So style and instrumentation are also fixed. And the next thing is to get the inspirations and start the arrangement. I love bass lines. If I could pick, I always pick to play the bass part. So here is our arrangement of Auld Lang Syne, and here is a hint. It's all about the bass. Hope you enjoy it. Bye.
And now, here's the whole arrangement. A big thanks to Joint Venture for their time in making this arrangement. If you want to see more of their work, you can find their videos on YouTube. You can go to their website, jointventurepercussionduo.com, where you can see them play all kinds of amazing pieces. You can also find links to their music online, including what you're listening to right now. A Strange Arrangement was produced by me, Rob McCarthy. I edit and mix the show, and I made our theme music. Our artwork was done by Daniel Joel Newman. You can find more of his artwork at danieljoelnewman.com. Special thanks to Brian Watson and Rob Hom for notes, and an extra special thanks to Elizabeth Stahl for notes and for the voice that you hear at the top of the show. If you like the show and want to support us, please go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review, or you can go to our website asamusicpodcast.com and you can leave a comment under each episode. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, what you want to see more of. Thanks for listening. Next week on the show, we start throwing in some gummikas. If you don't know what that is, check it out next week on A Strange Arrangement.